For the first time in 53 years, the New York Knicks are NBA champions. Not led by the biggest guy on the floor, but the smallest guy with the biggest bag. For years, the Knicks were the punchline of the NBA. They were so dysfunctional that movies and TV shows literally used them as a joke.
Check this out. I have been messing with this team for decades. And the Knicks lose another one!
Decades of missed opportunities, failed rebuilds, and crushed expectations turned one of basketball's most iconic franchises into a symbol of disappointment. But at long last, they stand on top of the basketball world. And their finals run wasn't the story of a good team scraping its way to a championship. It was the story of a great team steamrolling everything in its path on the way to a title. So let's go back to where it all started. Round 1, ATL. This was supposed to be the easiest round for the Knicks, but turns out it was actually the most troublesome. Game 1 went exactly as New York expected. A quick and easy victory at home to establish a 1-0 lead in the series. But then Game 2 happened and shook up everything. The Hawks were a rising team, but not a serious playoff threat. They weren't supposed to win a game against the Knicks, let alone 2.
There is one, and you're going to be able to rebound it.
Get it in. McCollum fires. Hawks take the lead.
After CJ McCollum's late game heroics, the Knicks were down 2-1 in a series that was supposed to, at the very least, be in their control. And now all the expectations from the Knicks were starting to get put under a magnifying glass. Because just last season, the Knicks made the Eastern Conference Finals and couldn't quite get over the hump. But they got a better coach, started utilizing their depth, and they were supposed to be better this year. But a 2-1 hole isn't a great start. And then they woke up.
It's up, and the Knicks win by 16. Best of 7 is now a best of 3 as the Knicks have evened it at 2 games apiece. A dominant performance to take a 3-2 series lead.
Well, the Knicks will advance to the second round for the 4th straight year, courtesy of one of the most dominant performances in NBA playoff history. In a game they led by as many as 61, they win by 51.
A blowout in Game 4, a blowout in Game 5, and an absolute beatdown in a closeout Game 6. This was the Knicks that everyone knew they could be, multiplied by 10. They were expected to easily handle the Hawks, but a 30-point whooping followed by a 50-point demolition was something entirely new. In that Game 6, the Knicks could have literally taken all of their fourth quarter points, given it to the Hawks, and still win by 5. They had developed into an entirely new lethal threat to the league, and it didn't stop. They matched up with the Sixers in the semifinals and immediately blew them out by 39 points in Game 1.
The New York Knicks take a 1-0 lead, 137-98. An absolute force on both ends.
That's 3 straight playoff games where the Knicks simply seem unbeatable. And it turns out they kind of were. Games 2 and 3 were more competitive, but ultimately resulted in a 3-0 lead for the Knicks. And everyone knows a 3-0 lead is essentially a book ticket to Cancun. But the Knicks weren't taking any chances. A constant 0-0 mentality that eventually led to yet another absolute dominant 30-point stomping on the road.
Whistle. Brunson, his first shot, knocks down the 3. Knicks looking to push at every opportunity. McBride, try another, puts it up, puts it in. 7 to shoot, jab step, he fires up a 3. That's good. Some room, uses a Robinson screen, fires up another 3, puts it in. Air ball, Robinson, offensive rebound. McBride tries again, hits again.
And just like that, the Knicks are back in the same spot they were last year, the Eastern Conference Finals. Except this time, they are on a historic pace of 7 straight playoff wins, and nearly half of them being mind-blowing blowouts. And now the only thing standing in the way of them and the finals are the Cleveland Cavaliers. And it was not off to a great start. At least, it seemed that way. Game 1, the Knicks found themselves in a deficit of 22 points with just about 7 minutes left in the game. And this was the point that everything was about to change. The Knicks would go on an insane 30-8 run to close out the fourth quarter, and send the game to overtime, backed by a clutch-time heater by Jalen Brunson.
Fakes, drive, gets inside, pull-up jumper, got it! Jalen Brunson has come alive, and against Harden, almost pokes it away. Shot clock at 10, Brunson drives, pulls up, shot is up, bank shot is good! The Brunson burner has been lit, it's an 8-point game!
He scores.
Brunson, three-pointer, puts it in! Captain Clutch has come alive! Brunson with Harden on him, Brunson on the drive, the floater, bank shot, it's good! Tie game again with 19 seconds remaining.
In the final 12 minutes of the game, the Knicks scored 44 points as opposed to the Cleveland Cavaliers, get this, 11 points. The Cavs were up 93-71 with 7 minutes left, and they finished the game in overtime with 104 points, while the Knicks went from 71 to 115. You legitimately can't make this stuff up. And it was after this impossible comeback that it was without question that the Knicks were destined to reach the finals. The Knicks win Game 2 and 3, and for the third time leave no doubt, blowing out the Cavs in a closeout Game 4 by 37 points to reign as the Eastern Conference champion.
It's over. Believe it, Knicks fans, for the first time in 27 years, the New York Knicks are going to the NBA Finals.
The Knicks were approaching a generational playoff streak, 11 straight wins in the postseason, straight up rolling through anyone in their path. But the conversation around the Knicks was splitting between whether they are actually this good or they're only playing weak teams. The Eastern Conference has pretty much always been the weaker conference, but two things can be true at the same time. Maybe the competition wasn't the best, but the Knicks were also easily handling them and producing final scores that don't even seem real. But that wasn't convincing enough, because while the Spurs and Thunder were battling it out in the West, whichever team came out of there was already the favorites to win the finals. But being the favorite means absolutely nothing. Not if you can't back it up. Game 1 was yet another signature win from the New York Knicks. However, this wasn't a normal Jalen Brunson game for about the first 3.5 quarters. He was getting injured left and right, missing shots he normally hits, turning the ball over, and it looked like the Spurs had managed to contain yet another elite scoring guard. But here's the thing about Jalen Brunson. You don't beat him by winning the first 3 quarters, you have to survive all 4. Because even when the night looks off, even when the shots aren't falling, and even when the defense is physical with him, Brunson always finds a way to show up when it matters most. And that's exactly what happened in the fourth quarter.
Bridges looks back to Brunson. Corner 3 is up. Bang! Jalen Brunson from downtown. Brunson on the drive, spins underneath, puts it up, puts it in. Jalen Brunson does it again.
The misses didn't matter anymore, the injuries didn't matter anymore, and suddenly every possession belonged to him. And this theme of surviving all 4 quarters would become subtle foreshadowing for the rest of this series, because the Spurs were capable of holding their own for about 95% of each game and would simply have ridiculous collapses in the last few minutes. And Game 2 was the beginning of the end for San Antonio. I think for the longest time, everyone was expecting the Spurs to show their youth, and it just hadn't quite happened, or at least it hadn't hurt them enough to the point where they actually needed to worry. But Game 2 was that moment. It was the moment where Wemby and the Spurs' youthful panic essentially cost them the NBA Finals.
Jump shot. Back of the rim won't go. Wemby the rebound. 12 seconds remaining. Stolen by Brunson and knocked down by Wemby. Brunson will shoot free throws with 9.5 remaining. Oh, what a turnaround in that sequence.
The Spurs never really recovered from this error. Sure, they had stolen a game back in Game 3, but that was as far as they would go, because immediately after, the impossible would happen.
Clock at 5. Brunson fires up a 3. Puts it in! 1-point game! Stutter dribble. Drives inside. Goes up. Floaters up. It's good! The Knicks take the lead with 1:22 remaining. It's a chance to get it. Fox has it inside. Blocked by Anunoby. And gets it. Fires up a 3. Shot no good. The chip. It's gone! It's gone! It's gone! With 1.2 remaining. Knicks take the lead. OG Anunoby. And it's 107-106.
The largest comeback in NBA Finals history. A game where the Knicks at one point had less than 0.5% chance at winning was won by New York. And now the Spurs are basically out of title contention completely with a 3-1 deficit that they basically put themselves in. They literally give away Game 2, and then Game 4 was just a series of consecutive horrible decision making and plays by the Spurs. Wemby missing 2 huge free throws.
Those footsteps behind him. Wembanyama misses a free throw. The greatest comeback in NBA Finals history. Missed them both.
And then De'Aaron Fox making one of the dumbest plays in history for no reason.
Fox has a chance to get it. Fox has it inside, blocked by Anunoby.
But regardless, the Knicks were still 1 win away, and while it was technically still possible for the Spurs to win it, the probability was very low. And the Knicks had one guy that was simply built for the winning moment.
If your best player is small, you're not winning.
Trading their first round pick away, and for what? To go all in on clearing cap space in hopes of signing Jalen Brunson?
Wemby on Brunson, the 2 stars. Brunson off the bounce, gets inside, leans in, right-handed, he banks it home. Brunson looks, Brunson drives, Brunson shoots, ties the game. Brunson gets away from Castle, the floater's up and good. Jalen Brunson with another answer.
45 points in a closeout game where his team only combined for 49 points to win an NBA championship on the road. The guy that everyone said was too small to win and not a real superstar carried this Knicks team to their first championship in 53 years. The team that was used as a joke had become the best team in the NBA. And Jalen Brunson proves to everyone that winning conquers all criticism.